be making some acrylic night lights like this, LED lit from the base. I'll get into the details about this whole unit here in a minute. And I'm going to be using my Monport 40 watt CO2 laser. Can you do it on a diode laser? Well, yes and no, mostly no. It's very, very difficult to do clear acrylic engrave or etch on a diode laser. It can be done with some black cardstock underneath it, etc., but most of the time you got to have the power up enough that you'll end up blistering the acrylic. So therefore I would just stick with the CO2 laser for these. And this is one here, which is not in the base. And I've got a couple unicorns we're doing, and in the description of the video will be a link to the files for these unicorns if you'd like to make your own. It'll be a free download, there's no charge for it. Okay, so where do these things come from? And what's all involved here? Well, you've got, turn that off, little touch thing, there we go. So this is 1/4 inch thick acrylic. There's different types. This here is from a cheaper kind. As you can see, it's a much thinner acrylic. This is 1/8 inch, this is 1/4 inch. The base, you can either operate from batteries. You can put 3 AAA batteries in the bottom, or you can use the USB cable that comes with it. And I'll put a link in the description on where I get these. These are extremely popular, especially with kids, toddlers, you know, a little scared of the dark, and maybe they want picture somebody on there, or unicorns, or of course unicorns be more towards girls, but maybe you come up with something for boys, sports related, whatever. And they also come with a little remote so that you can operate this with a remote. It's got a little IR sensor right in the front of it right here. So as I said, I'll put a link in the description where to get these. They're not that expensive, and these are fun to make, and kids just absolutely love them. So I'm going to take you on the computer here. I'll show you how I get one of these set up and what the settings are for a Monport 40 watt CO2 laser. Here we are in Lightburn. I have the Monport 40 watt CO2 laser chosen there. Not online with a remote right now. I want to show you how I get this set up. So I need to bring my image in, and we're going to use this one right here. And it is obviously way bigger than the work area on the laser and on the acrylic sheet. So your space on the acrylic sheet, I'll flop this over inches here, is 5 inches. Resize this, make sure your padlock's locked when you do that. And I'll throw this into the center. Now, I could do this as an image. It would just take a while. So we are going to be working at, now let me assign that, I have that in the library. So we could do this as an image, or we can do it as SVG. It's just way faster to do it as to trace this image and then just do a fill. So we will go down here. Well, we'll give you an example here before I do that. How long would it take? It'd take 1 hour and 13 minutes. So I'm going to trace here, right click on it, we're going to trace image. I have mine set to delete the original image after the trace. And you can make any adjustments here with the threshold or cut off if you need to. Let's click OK. So now here's my image. And I'm going to go over here to my library and clear acrylic etch. Assign that to 150 millimeters per second, 22.5% power. I just need to load up the laser and get this on it. Okay, here I've got my piece set in place, and I need to frame it. I did frame it once before, but let's we'll double check here. Of course, you want to make sure you get your piece in there straight. And I want that beam right on the very edge, going up the sides. So it's looking good. Let's close my lid here. And over here, hit start. Away it goes. How long will this take? This one will take 20 minutes and 21 seconds. Make sure you keep an eye on your water temperature. If you have a chiller, both on the chiller and on the front of the unit. I've replaced mine on here. I've got a different kind on here. And I see that my other one is going bad now. But these are cheap to replace. So, how we doing here? Coming right along. I should also add that I do remove the protective film from the top side. I leave it on the bottom side until everything is done. Now, if you remove the protective film from the front side, you could leave it and remove it afterwards, but then you're doing a lot of what we call weeding by taking all them little pieces of plastic out of all the little intricate areas, and that's a pain in the rear, so I just take protective film off ahead of time. So what if you wanted to do it on a diode laser? Could it be done? Well, as I mentioned, kind of yes and no. It's mostly no, but it's possible. Here's a piece of scrap that I did a bunch of tests on. You need to put a piece of black cardstock. Don't use foam core board or you'll have a mess. Black cardstock underneath the acrylic, and then as you engrave, you're going to have to play with your settings. The thing that worked best for me here was, I wrote down somewhere, the setting that worked best without making blisters in the acrylic, because if you get your speed too slow you'll get blisters, was 3,000 millimeters per minute at 70% power. And that's on 1/4 inch thick acrylic. If you try it on 16th inch, you're probably going to get a whole bunch of blisters. And you'll hear, by blisters I mean you'll hear it as it's going by, it'll go pop, and then little pops are making little blisters in the acrylic. So the blue diode laser is not the best thing to use for this. Again, here it is possible, but you're going to have to play around with your acrylic, and you're going to have to experiment. It's so much easier on CO2. That's why we're doing it that way. I should also mention to pull the protective film off of both sides if you're doing this on a diode laser, because that stuff will burn. On the CO2 laser, I only take it off the front side until I'm done with the etch or engrave, and then I peel the back side off because it doesn't burn all the way through. With a diode laser, it will. It'll melt the plastic on the back side too, and then you'll have a big mess trying to get it off. Okay, so it's finished, but it's still got the protective film on the back side I need to pull off. And depending on your acrylic, oh, that one come right off. Sometimes that could be a difference. And there may be a little bit of dust on the side that just engraved, but that's what your t-shirt's for, right? And the engraved side goes to the back. Then just by touching the little switch in front, it's just a little touch switch. You don't need to push on it, just touch it. You can set it to stay a solid color. Get several to choose from, or you can set it to go at random like it is here and keep changing colors. Kids love them. Love to have them in their rooms at night for night lights. Again, you don't have to use batteries. You use a little USB cable and a USB charger ideally. So again, the files for these will be a free download from our website. There'll be a link in the description. Again, using the Monport 40-watt CO2 laser. And I'll put a link in the description on where to get these units here. I get them on Amazon. Very popular thing. Kids love them. So if you got anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up. Always helps the channel. I'm Roger in the loft above the shop. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.